Shot or no shot. It's brought to you by ESPN Bet, which is live in Illinois. Sign up today. New users get $100 in bonus bets with any sportsbook bet. We say good morning to Shay W. Norling.
Good morning. How we feeling on a Wednesday?
Better than you.
You sound like you feel better.
Maybe a little bit. I'm waking up. The coffee's starting to hit me. It's important right now. It's all Kaplan's fault.
It's not my fault. You're a big boy. How old are you?
29.
Then you should know better.
You did challenge him to do this in the parking lot of the stadium.
See, here, Courtney, let's start this off. Shot or no shot, this is Kaplan's fault.
That's no
I'm
shot.
not going to absolve you of blame here. Can I choose both? Can I say it's not a shot or it's a shot? Like I say, like neither. It's both of your faults. It's Cap's fault that he said this knowing his personnel. He said this in the parking lot of the stadium, knowing that you would not say no to this. And it's your fault for drinking the beers on the way up, knowing that this was probably coming. Like somewhere in your subconscious, somewhere in the back of your mind.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I think somewhere in the back of your mind, you knew that some sort of challenge, whether it was the 999 or something else that he was going to dare you to do, was going to come up because he knew that it could create great content for the show the next day. Like, you don't just go up to Milwaukee on a bus trip with, a group of people that won a contest from this company and other sponsors and not expect that there's going to be something that comes out of this that's going to make you, at the end of it,
fodder.
Yes, and content for the next day.
Thank you, IKEA, for helping us create great content for the show.
Yes.
Shout out IKEA. I am in so much pain this morning, Cappy. I just blame you for it.
Okay.
I can't hold myself accountable.
I tried to take care of you yesterday.
I mean, it sounded like you had a great day up until the sixth inning when your stomach started to turn.
We did. We had a wonderful day. To that end, yesterday, we also saw Jesse Rogers at the game. Cubs president Jed Hoyer said yesterday Justin Steele, quote, deserved much better than he got on Memorial Day when he threw 7 scoreless innings and the Cubs lost 5-1, gave Steele 0 runs of support. Yesterday, we're at the game. Jesse takes the long trip from his primo spot in the press box over to where we were seated. He's talking to us for a little bit. He told Kap and I that Jed is getting a little impatient with the offense and with the bullpen and with the lack of ability to win games lately. Obviously, the win last night probably makes you feel a little bit better, but Jesse was alluding to Jed may be feeling some pressure to bolster his team a little bit. So shot or no shot, Jed Hoyer will make a trade as soon as this week.
That's a no shot. I think he might recall Pete Crow Armstrong on Thursday. I could see that. I think he could let Cody Bellinger play a little more at first, although that home run by Michael Busch last night was huge. And he also had a hit in extra innings. Huge. Yeah. That Mike Tauchman blast off the pitcher. By the way, did they say how that dude is? Because he ran off the field. Did you see that play?
Where he got hit?
Yeah, the line
you
shot.
You can hear it. I've seen the replay of it. You can hear it.
It crushed him where the ball is literally laying in the infield. He has zero thought to go get the ball. He literally staggered toward the dugout. Done. Gone.
Can imagine what that bruise looks like today.
Oh, man. That was scary. Scary. But the run comes home, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, whew, we got the lead. And then they added on.
It was Trevor McGill. The report is
Trevor McGill.
He did not suffer a fracture. But it's unclear whether or not he will need to spend time in the injury list.
Yeah, that was scary, man. Scary.
I say it's a no shot, too, Shay, because, I get it. They need offense right now. And it's frustrating as a Cubs fan when you watch them lose games 3-2, 9-2, 3-0. And within this losing streak to where now maybe this is the turning point, 6 runs? Like, I feel like you have something to hang your hat on here. By the trade deadline, yes. Especially if they're going for it, which they should this year. They're a game over 500.
Agreed.
Yes. But right now, isn't that kind of a panic move? To the recency that you have of the month of May and this offense being pretty stagnant at best?
Unless you're making a move that you think sets you up for this year and beyond. Like if you told me they traded for Pete Alonso from the Mets and they're engaged in discussions with Scott Boras to extend Pete Alonso, that's different.
And I think you have to factor in too, like, what's Atlanta going to do? Are they trading for someone else right now? I mean, they're still going to go for it this
You
year.
would think.
I think you have to look at your competition and find out when your competition is planning to strike too.
Now, they may be going after Tommy Pham. That's some of the rumor. But they've got Jared Kelenic. They've got some guys in their system. I don't know what they're going to do. Losing Acuna, that's tough to replace. Tough. But the last time he blew his ACL, they won the World Series.
Yeah, because they had a great starting pitching rotation.
Correct. And now they have
could rely
Spencer
on.
Strider out for the year. Shay.
All right, the Washington Commanders have their franchise quarterback, but might still be in rebuild mode. And there are some rumors that involve your Chicago Bears about the defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. Been a lot of talk that Washington, after they moved on from Montez Sweat and Chase Young last season, could move on from Jonathan Allen. He's 29 years old, was a Pro Bowler in 2021 and 2022, but probably doesn't match their timeline in terms of when they'll be trying to win again. Will he still be as valuable or on the team at all? Bears have been rumored to be in play. One proposal I read put the trade offer at a 2025 second-round pick and a 2026 fifth-round pick, and you get back Jonathan Allen. Shot or no shot? If that's available, the Bears should make that trade.
Courtney?
I'd say it's a shot based on, we know they're not done on the defensive line yet. Like they need more of a presence on the edge. I think that will end up being Unique Ngakoue by the time.
Not Calais Campbell.
I mean, I know that we've heard his name. I think Ngakoue, for the price and where he's at in his rehab right now, and being the timeline for him to be expected to be ready by training camp, there's no rush to do it right now. But I do think that he would be top of their list from what I'm hearing. As far as Jonathan Allen, Shay, I think that they've got to really have a hard conversation with themselves about, is Jervon Dexter ready? Because if he's not, and he looks different, like, I mean, he changed his body this offseason. Granted, you can't really gauge where your pass rush is at until you start to see these guys in pads 3 months from now. For, what did you say the proposal was? A 2025 second?
And then a 2026 fifth.
They are more aggressive in season with trades than they have been outside of the Keenan Allen thing in the offseason.
They have 2 seconds next year.
And they've got draft capital
And Jonathan
to
Allen's
use.
29. He'll be 30 next January.
Getting a long-term option like that. I guess I would love to know what Montez Sweat's scouting report is on him. Because that defense, that unit, felt like 4 20-point scores in a basketball game where none of them could ever gel together, like to have like a great team performance. Like, how are they going to be on the defensive line together? Obviously, they're not playing right next to each other all the time, but like, I'm just curious in terms of what his scouting report would be on him, and like why in Washington they had all that talent and it couldn't pan out. I just would love to know, but I think I would say this is a shot just based on that's still their biggest weakness up front, and they know they can't go into the season with it looking the way that it does right now.
Yeah, I think Ryan Poles knows they got a chance to take a step here. And it's year 3 for him. He's got to take a step.
For sure.
This team goes 6-11, people will be like, what? What do you mean? That can't happen.
No way.
So, Shay.
All right, we talked a little bit about Pedro Grifol, his comments. Cap, yesterday you said something that interested me when we were on with Connor McKnight. You said the White Sox need to fire Pedro Grifol immediately. And then
Yes.
they went out and lost last night again, 7-2 to the Blue Jays in a game that was rain delayed twice. Garrett Crochet got ejected. They've lost 11 of 12 games. They're in danger of being swept today when they take on the Blue Jays this evening. There probably isn't a manager out there that could come in and meaningfully turn this around. The roster is what it is. But I've made the point, I think you have to get somebody who can fix the culture if you're bringing these AAA guys like Colson Montgomery up this season. Shot or no shot, the White Sox should try to bring back Ozzie Guillen.
Shot. You need somebody that's going to hold people accountable, and the culture has to change. It does. I don't think Ozzie's under the illusion he's going to win the World Series there, but I think he would clean it up.
Does he still want to manage?
Yes. I don't think his wife wants him to manage.
If there's anybody that they'd bring in, you need somebody who already has ties to the organization, who understands what he's walking into. Like, that's why I don't feel like you could fire Pedro Grafal right now and expect it to get any better by any sort of internal interim promotion, because it won't. Like, you need an outside voice, but also a strong voice that players will listen to, like a respected voice, somebody who's been through this before. You're not going to find many people who want that job. Team's not going anywhere, and a lot of these guys probably won't be on the roster next year. Team's not constructed to win. Like, and at what point do you go from, hey, we're done rebuilding, we're done being cheap, to time to turn the next page to get to, like, the ground floor? Like, we believe we're able to take that next step. Is it this year? Is it next year? Like, how many more years of this are you going to want to go through? Because if you're a manager, how many years, if you're taking this job, let's say that the firing happens, whatever it is, how many years are you signing up for of being part of this rebuilding process before it gets to a point where it's tenable?
Right, like, I'm out. I don't need this.
I mean, he'd be a brave soul to do that. I don't think nobody wants that job. Not now, not honestly until they have, like, more stability within who's making the decisions and the payroll and the funding of this team and the product they're putting on the field.
So I got a tweet from a guy called the Wabash King. He said, to Courtney's point, if Pedro is saying what he said to get fired, he won't get another job as a manager likely ever.
And that's why, like, I'm kind of teetering on it. Like, what was the motivation? Could this have just been a moment of frustration? He's bristled with the media recently. Like, he's, I think Jesse could probably speak to that better than anybody else because he's down there all the time. But was this a moment of everything boiling over, or was this a calculated, I need to get a message to them? Was it, I can't do anything else with this team, I want out, and I'm not just going to resign? But if you get yourself fired out of there, the way that things have gone, and it's not all on the team, it's on some of his like the lineup decision you were talking about in the 9th inning the other night. Like, where else does he get that opportunity to be a manager again? I
said to Shay yesterday, we were on the bus, before he started drinking, I would like to ask Rick Hahn, who I like a lot. Rick, let me ask you a question. You got to hire one last manager, and then you lost your gig. What was it about that dude? Because Kansas City hired a new manager, went outside the organization, and let their current bench coach leave to go to a division rival. They didn't want him. So what was it about Pedro Grafal that you went, yeah, I'm in?
That's a good question.
Unless Jerry said, yeah, you can only pay whatever it is, $1 million,
cheap.
Whatever he makes.
That's where my mind went.
Right. Like, you can't have any money to spend. I don't know if that's true or not. You got one team that spent, their owner said, $40 million?
$40 million.
Go ahead, do it. All in. The other one hired Pedro Grafal. I don't get it. I don't.
Maybe if he is trying to get himself fired, he might not want to manage again. Keeping a seat warm on the Royals bench seems like a pretty attractive gig right now. They're pretty good.
Hit some fungos.
Go hang out.
Some dinner in the dining room. Yeah,
watch Bobby Witt play and get yourself a chance at some hardware. You just keep a seat warm.
What's the post-game meal? All right, see you tomorrow. Yeah. All right, you got one more real quick?
Yeah, I want to ask about this Ohio billionaire who is planning to take a $20 million submarine to the Titanic with the sole purpose of proving to people that it is safe after last year's Ocean Gate implosion. Shot or no shot, this is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, shot.
That's a shot. We are not even 1 year removed from the Ocean Gate tragedy, and this guy wants to take his $20 million submarine down there by himself?
So I'm claustrophobic. The thought when that whole Ocean Gate thing started and they were bolted in, they couldn't get out.
I mean, if they were to get out anyways, they would have died because they were so far below sea level.
Correct. But, like, the thought, right now, it makes me queasy thinking about a group getting into this little bathtub and then bolting the top shut.
Can I ask what this guy's name is, Shay? Do you know?
I have it in front. Larry Connor.
Larry Connor from Ohio.
2 first names.
I think I can assume what Larry Connor's background is. We need to stop messing with the ocean.
Yes.
White people and our fascination with the ocean. I'm sorry, I'm going here, guys. Like, we got to stop messing with the ocean and thinking that, like, it's on us to explore. Like, the great beyond, the great unknown, that we need to be down there looking around at the coral reef, looking around to see if the Titanic exists. There's a reason that we haven't done this successfully up until this point. and we need to leave well enough alone.
Yes.
And leave that world to its own world and stop thinking it's on us to go explore. Like, congratulations. Magellan, like, did what he did, and he, you know, created maps, more or less. We don't need to be that version of it in 2024 by trying to, like, go, like, look inside the ocean floor. This is just dumb. And I'm not surprised by that at all. Not at all. Sorry.
No, it's a great point by you. It's unbelievable that
You
this
don't
guy.
hear of other people doing this. You literally only hear it coming from the same people.
Of course,
It's insane.
It's wealthy white people. We're nuts. Everybody else is smart enough to know you don't dare the ocean. This
Dude,
guy's
I was
got
up
some
by the
hubris.
lake last week, and we got a horrible storm. A lake scared the hell out of me, let alone the ocean. It's insane. All right, we will go around the NFL. It's right in Courtney's wheelhouse. We'll get the latest. It's coming up next.